You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, King. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream. This is AfterBuzz TV for TBS's Tyler Perry's For Better or Worse. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest For Better or Worse news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off, and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for TBS's Tyler Perry's For Better or Worse.
Whoa!
Calm down.
We started dancing so early on that by the time it was time to really do anything,
It gets early and early.
I was out of gas, personally. What's up, everybody? Tyler Perry's show For Better or Worse, which is on TBS. Of course, this is your recap show for that. This is the AfterBuzz. My name is Ronnie Jr. I'm here, as always, with the luscious lipped, luscious lipped, spicy
Marty in the building, y'all.
Maricela always joining us. And, of course, we have our cast member / co-host and buddy and all that good stuff.
Actor, supermodel extraordinaire.
Yeah, model back in the day, did his thing. Jason
Still
Olive.
modeling.
Yeah.
Billboards everywhere.
We don't have to do it every week.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's move. Then let's
Jason Olive.
Let's move right to our social media corner over there.
What's up?
That's not a bad look over there. You guys are matching too.
It's the holidays, you know.
Yeah, trying to be festive.
Did you coordinate all that?
Oh yeah,
Of
all
course,
week.
we coordinate all of our.
All right.
Exactly. We were texting back.
You
and forth
you were
all-
twittering back and forth. I
That-
got
that's
it.
That's
Jesse
it.
F. Daniels and Lauren Turner over there. Marty, you're always so good at introducing and rolling out our guests. I mean, I really honestly can't believe we've had, if you look at the cast right now, there's 6 people that are, embodying this show, and we've had all 5. Basically. So we just need one more.
Blessed.
We're on the hunt for Tasha, basically, is what it comes down to. Kent, you can make that happen. But, you know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, what we've done with this show, recapping, Tyler Perry's show that everybody's talking about, they call it For Better Fridays now. You know what I mean? You see it on Twitter. And to think we have had every single one of them in here, except for Tasha. So we're going to get on
And
Tasha.
now we have Kent.
Yeah.
In the building. Give it up for Kent Faulcon, folks. Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah, man. How you feeling about it? You, like Crystal, you kind of did your homework on us, which makes us feel really good.
No,
Yeah,
man.
he
I
was
mean, my
telling
peeps
us
were on
about
the
the
show,
show.
so I was like, I'm checking you. I feel like I've been hanging out with you for the last Fridays. And
Right.
So,
For better fans, I must let you guys know he looks even better in person. Just to let you
And
guys
I
know.
agree with
And
that.
when
there it is.
Yo, Kent, when Marty,
Wow,
when
that's
Marty
a lot,
talks,
Lauren, with your boyfriend in the.
Really, Jason?
it's
His haters and
what's going on over here?
I'll put that in the compliment
Lauren
box.
is single.
That was a spicy certified comment, so there you go.
Right. That was
Yeah,
spicy.
What do you guys think about this episode? This episode, really, as far as writing notes as we do, we kind of like see what's going on.
Right.
There was so many notes to
couldn't-
be written. I kind of had to, did you do what I did?
Right, because I just had to just watch. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my
Yeah.
God, they're going in.
How do you describe these 2 episodes, everybody? What did you guys see on the, I mean, there was a good level of comedy,
Right.
Intense.
but it was the dramatics
not so
that
much
really.
comedy
These
this
were the
time.
first 2 episodes that really surprised me.
Yeah.
Because I honestly did not really remember them. And then when I saw them, I realized it was because I'm not in them that much.
Same here.
Yeah.
Right? Same here.
But I was just like, wow.
But
Yeah.
but
this
you
went deeper. You felt like it
Right.
ended deep.
It's
Last
like a
week.
movie.
Did you guys
As soon as it
shoot
starts, it went
con-
deeper and deeper and deeper.
Did you guys shoot in order everything?
No, see, that's the thing. Originally, we were going to shoot in order, but then, off the strength of, what was it? Was the first 3 or first 4?
It was the first 3 or 4. I can't remember, but off those strength, they were like, "Whoa, we're hitting." I'm assuming it's like, man, we're hitting them too hard, and so then we spaced it out, and so we were doing episodes. We started. You remember we did.
I think they took 3 and 4. I think Tyler
Yeah.
took 3 and 4 and made them 8 and 9.
Right.
Is what
Oh,
happened.
wow.
I'm sorry. Made
7
them
and 8.
7 and 8.
He
Right.
did a huge,
7, 8.
flip-flop.
So
Yeah.
once
Right.
he did that, which was basically the start of week 2,
Right.
middle of week 2, then we were all out of.
Yeah.
We're shooting more like a
Originally,
film.
when you guys
shooting
were
out of
taping,
sync.
did you know that you were going to do episodes back to back, the way that he was going to air it?
I think there was talk about that they were going to try to air two episodes.
2 half-hour
Yeah,
episodes,
I think
right.
that was from the
That's
beginning.
different. We haven't really seen
Well,
that
I
too
think what
much.
was interesting is we kind of didn't even really know this till Jason told us last week that this is technically still like a pilot.
Pilot,
So,
correct.
Yeah.
so really everything they've done has been breaking ground and doing kind of their own thing. Anyway, you had a scene. Joseph had a scene where he kind of got a little tough love-ish towards Marcus. Did it play an impact on you? I mean, it was one of the things you talked about instantly.
First of all, having Angela spend the night at your house will do that to you. That's not something you want to have too often. Sometimes you gotta tell your
like,
boys,
what?
look, you need to get this straight for my sake.
Baby,
Yeah.
check up for matches. Check up for matches.
We did do that scene. We did do a scene where when I left, when I said goodnight, I grabbed all the candles and all this stuff. And I remember Tyler went, "What the heck are you doing?" And then he went, "Oh," but no, we didn't keep that. That was a little mean.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I've been there with that knock on the door at 2 a.m. and having a buddy.
Yeah.
I've done the
just
knock.
got kicked out.
Shoot, I've been in that
Yeah,
situation.
you know?
It's not fun. You're like,
And,
you take me in for the night. We're fighting. So
It was cool to
Yeah.
see as we saw Crystal and got to know her personality and her playing that Leslie character. And this was one of the things, Kent, I told Crystal while she was here. I was like, it's pretty crazy. You're, as she will say herself, a newcomer, and Tasha by no means is a newcomer. Everyone really has been pushing for her to be that next big star. And that scene right there is exactly what we were talking about. Crystal is doing these scenes with Tasha and being comparable in the talent, yet Crystal's brand new. So that was I thought a big scene for the storyline and then for the actress who we now will call our friend a little bit.
Yeah. No. I've been so impressed with Crystal's work and to think that this is maybe like her second thing that she's done that but she works hard. I mean, you'll attest to this one, Jason. I mean, Crystal puts in work in ways that I have not seen a lot of newcomers do. That she'll all the time with different people, and I know when she was talking to me and also with you, it's like she puts in work for what she's getting.
What do you what do you think about your Richard character?
He has been like an evolution. He and I know you guys talked a little bit about all the craziness when we first got to Atlanta, and when I landed, I was supposed to be Joseph, but I had not up to that point. I think the character's name was William at the time, right? And so, which ultimately was Richard. I'd only known this character that I'm playing. So when I got off the plane, they go, you're actually going to be Joseph. I was like, okay, who's Joseph?
I was ready to play William.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then there was a lot of back and forth. And a few hours later, no, you're going to stay William. All right, so I was William for a little while. And then they were like, well, Angela and Marcus's last name is William, so that's a little weird. So you'll be Richard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, now I'm Richard, right? So he's kind of evolved. When we started the first few episodes, Marcus and Richard were much more collegial.
Yeah.
And then they started introducing this element of this adversity that these two are having, and it's kind of like I've been looking at Richard as he loves Marcus to death. They're like brothers, but he's also like that brother. Like, I gotta beat that dude.
Yeah, there's
it's
a rivalry.
always
going on.
competitive. Yeah.
We sensed that, and we addressed that with Michael Jai White when he was in here as
Right,
well.
right.
Because we were like, what is this tension going on between you guys? And
Right.
it's the whole competitive nature of the male testosterone.
Right.
Also, you got my woman.
Right,
And the history that you guys have from your childhood.
Right.
But
Yeah,
we like to see that friction between you guys.
No, exactly, and it goes back, because in my character being a former Major League Baseball player, kind of has that sort of laser focus. And Marcus playing football, when you're in college, most college programs, football dudes get all the love. I mean, they ride the fancy buses, they
Right.
take the planes or whatever.
They make the money for the school. Do
Exactly,
they not?
the
Yeah.
baseball
all the
dudes,
energy, yeah.
we're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
in the short bus, you know what I mean?
I'll let
Lugging
you
all
say
the
it.
You guys work
equipment.
the hardest because you guys
Yeah,
play
getting
more.
no
Yeah.
love, and for Richard, even though he made it to the major leagues, he wasn't he 5 years, right? He wasn't an impact player. Whereas Marcus, this guy might go to Hall of Fame. So rather than being like, dude, you made it to the majors, it's more like, yeah, but I didn't make my
Wait,
mark
so we
like
have
Marcus,
you, Richard MLB, and then we have Marcus NFL, I'm assuming,
Right.
and then we had tennis player. Is that
Yeah.
the breakdown?
Yeah.
But you guys are
I
all
feel
good
like that's
for.
appropriate
Yeah,
for
we're all-
Jason's role though as Joseph.
You
Yeah.
believe him more as a
I
tennis
better
player?
look-
I
Lacrosse.
believe you. I believe you as a tennis player. I mean, because you're a volleyball
America's
player.
game, lacrosse.
Right.
So it's like, of course, Michael in real life would be the black belt. You know,
Right.
Marcus.
Right.
He's the black belt in real life, and then of course, in real life, you'd be the volleyball player.
Yeah.
So and on TV,
I mean, there's a lot of this that I don't have to stretch that much for
Yeah.
Joseph. I just did an interview and they said, well, tell us about Joseph. And my
Right.
answer was, well, I am Joseph
Yeah.
and Joseph
Right.
is me.
That was great.
There's not,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I kind of wanted to put the question to you and how you feel, now having seen all the episodes, how you felt playing Richard, because we're, being asked to bring these characters to life very quickly. But now I'm seeing it's like, yeah, Joseph is the black guy who shops at Whole Foods and drives an LFA. Tyler, did you get that? All these things, but it's like this new generation of, people who are like hip and conscious and doing their thing and, seeing where they go. And I was wondering how you felt about, where Richard is now and where you see him going.
I'm curious to see, where he, I'm looking forward to the growth in him, because I definitely know that there's some demons that are there, and trying to find what those insecurities are and how he can step into it, and I think and I've been trying to play into this whole baseball thing, standing at the plate and like, this man's throwing a ball at me at 98 miles an hour, and he may go for my head, he may, but how does he stand? I can't show that weakness, even though I may feel some weakness, and so I'm looking forward to finding out what is that weakness in Richard, and confronting it, and how is he medicating it, through alcohol? I don't.
Yeah, because we haven't got close to the bottom of that situation with you guys.
There, and he's.
I would
we
like
need
to
a
see more
season.
development in your character with
Yeah.
Keisha, your relationship with her as well. Hopefully, we'll touch on that next season when it comes back.
Exactly. Hopefully, I'm curious about that, because I do feel like they really dig each other, but they got these other agendas
Yeah, you
that's
guys
also
got
in the
some
mix.
stuff
You know what I
going
mean?
on.
So if you take that away, if Marcus and I don't have beef anymore, right? And I'm not trying to, there's no jealousy, or I'm feeling like I'm getting over. And if she says, okay, I don't have feelings for Marcus anymore, and I'm not jealousy, where are
where's
we now?
Richard? Yeah, in that
Yeah,
equation.
exactly. Where are we? Where would Keisha and Richard be? Like, how do I really feel about you now that I don't have that little edge that I was getting?
Yeah, I
at?
would like to see some intimate moments with you guys. Why you guys
Exactly.
care about each other so much?
Right.
Like, the growth of your relationship. I would like to see a little bit of that.
Lauren,
Yeah.
did you have anything from the
No,
social media
actually,
world over there?
We have a few things, actually.
Well, actually, a lot of people are blowing up. A big, strong point of this show revolved around a little bit of Miss V and the religious aspect of it. And a lot of people are showing a lot of support for that move by Tyler Perry.
Right.
Tylee. Is that his new
Tylee.
nickname?
Lord.
Have we given him a
That's what we like
nickname?
to call him,
Yeah, Tylee, Tylee.
Tylee for short.
I mean,
You
how did
do
you
know
guys
he's
feel
6'5",
about the
right?
fact
He's in my
that
phone as
she-
Tylee.
that the maid was like already, on defense when she's like, I'm gonna bring this up, but I know you can fire me. I mean, how did you guys feel about that? How did you take that? All she did was say,
That was
you need to
bold.
pray. I mean, she felt like she would get fired for that.
I don't know why I was so drawn into
Because-
the maid
because she
moments.
got into-
I was.
Yeah.
She was
This is-
being nosy. She got into someone who she works for personal business. We could never in a million years tell our boss that something personal about their lives. If they're in the middle of something in their, home, we
Right.
couldn't just intervene and say, hey, you need to pray. Like, our bosses would take that
Isn't that
personal.
what the maid is for?
But I was gonna say, so you think that was just television? Because I think it'd be cool if
No,
people
I think-
were
I
like
think-
that.
Jefferson.
Well,
It would be wonderful.
I think that in real life that's a tough circumstance, but I think in this situation, when you do have a relationship with your employees, like they do the
Yeah.
maid, that it's appropriate because she almost acts as if as a nanny grandmother figure in the
Right.
household.
Yes.
So it made sense for her to interject, and then also that was very bold of Tyler to say, "You guys need to pray on it."
Oh, yeah, to make that statement
Yeah.
itself was like just,
Because
you guys
who
need
was
to
on
pray.
the show that told us that Tyler Perry wouldn't accept it with TBS if
Oh,
they
yeah,
made him
that
cut
was,
out God?
I think that was
we
Michael.
were talking about that.
He-
Well, that was
he
it.
held
That's
up-
how
About
it
which
ended up at
network it would
TBS.
go to.
Yeah.
It was another network that told him that he couldn't say God, and he said, "Well, I guess
He's like, well,
this is the
That's
wrong
right.
network."
Deuces.
No, he doesn't
Yeah.
shy away from it. And
No.
even, when we were talking about this show being somewhat part of a ministry towards couples in terms of being able to explore maybe how to handle things or maybe how not to handle things, and that was, something important for him to do, that as well as entertain, is that I think it's for him is a little bit of a ministry for
And
him.
this is where Ken, he's very humble, obviously, but this is where he gets a lot of props because, we all had this meeting like, great, we're going to be this great ministry and this thing, we know that's what Tyler shows do anyway. We're all psyched up to do this and to be this representation. And then it was like, and you're the devil.
That's your role.
because when he was William was a good guy. I mean, you know what I mean.
Right,
then all of
right.
a sudden, come that second week, it was like, and
gotta have
Kent,
them-
you're the
you're the
devil.
devil.
Them
It was
acting
like,
chops,
You're
you know?
a trash talker too. When you and Keisha pair up, you guys are just evil.
Yeah, man, it's a combination. You know, it's like some people when they drink, they get a little mean, or you know, I think when the two of them get together, sometimes they don't necessarily bring the best out of each other. So
I mean, there's one scene, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, and I think Keisha walked out and was like, "Bye, bitches."
yeah, thanks.
And
for
you
that.
just like, come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
baby, let's go. You're proud. Like I was like, whoa, you guys are bold.
How
Yeah.
easy is that for you to play such a character, Kent?
You know, I
Because you seem like such a
Or
nice
ha-
guy.
yeah.
you know, right?
That's like a
nice
forwarded
guy.
compliment because you're already saying how easy is it. Like it's like
Right,
you're
right.
good at it.
I know it's not easy.
No, I've had my
You're nice
fair
at
share of
compliments.
jerks. That
I know it's not. I mean, it's not easy.
no, I've played a fair amount of jerks. You know, the one role I did on Soul Food, man. To this day, I'll get stopped in airports like, you need to leave Bird alone. I'm like, that show's been
Hold
up
on
there
to
for
that
5
aggression.
years. Are you serious? But
There's a character and there's a real
exactly,
person.
right? No, sometimes I have fun with that. You know, to get to go to that ugly place. You know, that I normally just never treat anybody like that. Or
I would
I mean,
definitely
this
want.
is a lot broader though too. I mean, we're simplifying it, but obviously he has a whole storyline and a whole.
And we want to know more about Richard. I think that's what we'll get. You know, if
Right.
this does get picked up as an actual first real season, which we definitely hope, feel, and know it's going to happen. I do really quick want to talk about the reaction post Marcus. Well, first of all, first thing he does really is he starts purchasing a lot of things. So the materialistic side of him, or that, what do they call it, retail therapy, definitely kicked in.
Right.
Want to know what your guys' thoughts are on that, and also your thoughts on once it went down to Marcus and Angela. I thought it was interesting. It doesn't always happen this way. When the two kind of split up, the couple splits up, the mother sometimes, I feel, this is my opinion, that the mother takes the child more so. And I thought it was interesting that Marcus was like talking with the son and was nurturing, and Tasha was gone. And I just, to me, that's cool to see because I don't think it's always the natural way. But I guess there are women that just book out, I guess, you know?
So what are we touching on first?
Whatever you feel good about.
There's a lot there.
That's a low
Well,
That was like
that's
the
a-
show. Just
That's
very
how I
powerful.
felt when I
That was
watched
very-
the
that
show,
was very
though.
loaded.
I mean,
Okay, so let's dive into the fact that
Take it away,
Marcus
are you flustered?
Marcus went on a shopping spree with Tasha's money.
right.
Yeah.
Should he have done that? Yes or no?
Yes.
He didn't. He can't say nothing. It was cool to see him do it because he got to boss up and just do it, and he
Right.
got burnt in a way.
Right.
And he just did it. I don't know if it was like he should or shouldn't, but it was cool to watch.
I think he got.
had to.
I think that was. I think of course it was vindictive, but at the same time, that's what she gets. Because I'm sorry, you burned all of my stuff. It's nice of him not to have burnt hers down and to only have replaced his with her money. That's the least she could have done for him. But then again, tit for tat only makes situations worse.
Well, you're
Right.
the one who always talks about, oh, she said something that, tore down his masculinity.
Right.
Well, I think it wasn't even about him going after her. It was just like, you took all my stuff. You burned my life up.
right.
I don't even think he gave it that much thought. It was just like, well,
Yeah, you need to make me whole. You know, it's
Yeah.
like
that's it. Yeah.
But doesn't it show how good of a man Marcus really is? I mean, at the end of all of this, Angela would have just been like, okay, I did it, whatever.
Right.
He made sure that he got her money back. And I do think it does have something to do with Jason's character talking to him.
yes, I like Jason's
but
pep talk in there.
the pep talk. But I mean, it kind of shows that Marcus really does want this to work. He does. I can tell he wants it to work.
Well, even as we ended the show, the ball went in her court, right?
Yeah.
That's how we ended
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I guess you call it the 10-episode pilot.
Right.
The ball is in her court. He broke it down. He did the whole, well, listen, yes, I did what I did. You said you were over it, but you weren't. You're not over it. So if you're not, then, I mean.
And they didn't even address this time that she slept with somebody else. Remember we figured out.
Yeah, that
last
little
episode?
nugget we got
It was
last
like,
week.
Well, forget her affair.
they started in the beginning, right? And then that was it. And
yeah,
the-
they
the-
didn't.
I
They
think
didn't really
that
touch on
in
it.
some ways I looked at it as, as a point that he was trying to make. What happened in the past, I supposedly have forgiven it, and I'm not going to bring it up and lord it over your head. So from Marcus's point of view, I'm sure he was
forgiveness.
like, I don't need to talk about that. I've let that go. Let's deal with what you're not letting
Why is
go.
it so easy for men to just let go? They can just
forgiving.
let
It's
go.
forgiving,
Just
you
let
know
go.
what I mean?
You can do it.
Right.
You can let go.
Because we're lazy and holding on to stuff takes a lot
Let
of
go,
effort.
let go.
That's
Let
why
go.
we're
It's
like
all right.
lazy.
I'll
I mean,
teach you
I
later.
think men, and there's a difference between forgiving and forgetting. I think men, we don't forget.
It doesn't look like
we'll
Marcus forgot
forgive.
at all. He's
Yeah,
knows what's up, but he's
Right.
trying to move on.
It takes too much energy to hold on to negativity.
What's he gonna deal with this for
I
the
mean,
next
Jason,
15
if,
years?
if you're married,
Yeah.
so if your wife had done that to you, how would you have retaliated?
Listen, I've
Gosh, that's
been through
personal.
so
ask.
many
Because he's
crazy
watching the
relationships.
show, you
No, I
know?
went through a relationship with a woman a girl that I loved in college. I mean, loved her a lot, and she cheated on me. / we kind of broke up without me knowing, and
By the way, it's over.
one of those. And to me at the time, it really didn't matter to me. It didn't matter to me that like whoever this guy was that she slept with this other guy, I was so into her and into our relationship that's what mattered. I was like, okay, and this is just real. I'm not saying it was great or anything. I'm just saying at the time my attitude was like, okay, you had sex with him, but me and you, are we good now? Like I was so like into it, and then when she did it again with a girl, then I left.
Oh,
Whoa.
I mean, crazy relationship, but I'm just saying, I mean,
Yeah.
true
That's
life,
real.
true life.
21
is,
years old at its finest.
I was
Yeah.
like, you go
But
through
there
all
was
these
no
things.
retaliation.
But
you
so
didn't get even.
no,
no
I
cheating.
didn't. I didn't have time. First
That's
of
a
all, I
good
didn't have
point,
time
though.
to retaliate. I didn't have a reason.
But
to.
it almost sounds like you didn't want to retaliate. It's like if it ain't there
I was
anymore,
like, what's
Sounds
wrong?
Like Jason is a lot like Joseph.
Yeah, I mean a lot.
Like a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
mean
exactly what your character would do.
Yeah, he would.
Let's just
He's
make up.
wanting no
Let's
drama.
Just hold hands and sing.
I don't know. You have to. Maybe it has to do with attachments of how strongly you attach to things. But my feeling in life has always been that if it's not there, it's not there, and probably never was.
But then let's address the Tyler Perry tweet of how do you get the trust back? That has been the main thing that TBS and
Great
TBS was.
question.
Right.
That is really difficult.
Don't you move on? I mean, you have to let the past be the past. Isn't that the only way that could happen?
She kept mentioning his track record.
Yeah.
And she
Right.
kept saying your track record isn't that good. Like
Right.
how do you get beyond that?
And that's what I'm talking about in my own experience in this relationship I went through. I mean, it was like a 5-6 year relationship, whereas it was like the trust is that's really back. And then when you get it back and you feel like you have the trust, and then it happens again.
Ouch.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's why I liked the way the maid was very like, okay, so you do trust him. Cool. And then she not Tasha, but Angela went on to speak and all these issues. Well, then divorce him. Like she was just like, she was very cut and dry, and she was very like, let's not make this a moment. Like you know what you know, and at the end of the day, like Angela's character, she has to get it.
Trust is a
She
choice.
has, yeah.
It really is. It's almost like the commitment that you make. It's like, I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna make this decision, and I guess it may be a decision you have to make every day as you get up. And you look at it like, all right, I'm gonna.
She did say that day by day.
Yeah.
My wife. That's what my wife's saying is you either accept it or you leave. There's only two. There's only
Right.
two answers. You accept it or you leave. And accept it means accept it. It means like pass is pass,
Right.
or you leave.
Because if
Right.
you stay and you don't have
You
the trust or
resent.
you don't
It's
believe,
just toxic.
it's
Oh,
just
that
toxic.
was-
That's a waste of
it
time.
becomes,
That's
you
the
become
That's a
worst.
waste of time.
That's the worst
resent
word,
the person.
resenting. Is that what you said?
yeah.
Yeah, resenting. Yeah.
And you don't want to live life like that.
No.
No.
Like there's no point.
This
And
is
then
a
when you get to that
therapy
point where you don't
session.
even
Right.
get that point where you don't even care, then that's
That's bad.
That's worse.
Let's talk about what we thought. Even when you weren't here, Kent, but just on some of our other podcasts, we talked about some of the things that Tyler Perry does work into the show as far as positive influences, I guess we'll say. I really like the Marcus talking to his son moment. And again, we did realize that Angela, she left. So that is kind of different. I'm assuming maybe there are a lot of women that leave, but I thought that was a good moment that later Marcus was the one to do the talking to the son.
She tried to kick him out, and then he was like, "I'm not going."
Right.
So
Right.
now she's the one that's been leaving.
Yeah, I don't know, but wouldn't she leave with her son still?
Usually, I've
I'm just
been
going off,
in-
yeah.
I've been a product of what just happened, and
Yeah.
my mother took me. She
Yeah.
took me with her when she left my stepfather.
Right.
So, in all actuality, that's usually what I think that happens.
Right.
But in this situation, it showed, the father keeping the son.
And it was good because they had that great talk, and he had a quote. I mean, I hope I wrote it almost completely correct. When you love someone, you can look at them in the eye and you know that they're telling the truth. And then it was a comedic part also by
Right.
the MJ. Like, is that the actor name or the
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, where he was like looking him in the eye, like, "Wait, are you telling me the truth right this second?" So it was funny and everything, but it made for a really good moment. And I love that quote: "When you love someone, you can look them in the eye and you can tell if they're telling the truth." Do we believe that? I mean, that's actually
you usually know when your partner's lying.
Super solid, yeah.
Yeah, you typically should.
So I thought that was good
when you've been around them. There are a lot of things that I'm seeing in the show that as we were shooting it, I wasn't necessarily paying attention to. But yes, the father-son moments. This is like maybe the third instance where he's been helping the son with homework and that sort of parental involvement in the education process, sort of thing. And I think that's key. They were replaying something the other night with Obama, talking about how his mom used to ride him and used to be sitting there right beside him and how he hated it, but he pretty much is where he was because,
now.
Exactly. Because, and she used to say, there's no picnic for me either, me being here. So those kind of things that I've been picking up on the show, I was like, man, that's really cool. And I think when you're talking about the father, when the mother leaving and not taking the child, I think that speaks also to maybe what she thinks of him as a father,
right? And
that I can go and maybe try to take care of myself, and I know that he is man enough to handle our son for this short period of time or whatever. And I'm sure some relationships when mom is bouncing out, like I better take this baby, or
the way Marcus checks her though, when she comes into the house storming, and he's like, "You didn't hear your son speak to you?" Like he makes her look like awful, like a fool to her son, because she came in ranting and raving and disrespectful, and I like the way that Marcus puts her in her place.
Well, he didn't talk last episode, so this episode he was. This episode he was like. And then what did he say? He goes, "I'm gonna talk about this." And what did he say? They were in the.
But you're not gonna yell at me.
Yeah, or he was like, he was quick, ready to leave.
Raise your voice. I'm walking out.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of moments like that when you have kids, though. Where people can often speak through their children, which just annoys the heck out of me. And I always try to catch myself when I do it, and if my wife does it, it just drives me crazy.
What do you mean? Like,
like the kid will be here, and I'll be lying on the bed, and she would have said, take the trash out 10 minutes ago. The kid will say, "Daddy, can you read me this book?" "No, Kalyani, Daddy can't read you the book because he hasn't taken the trash out." You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I mean, that's just a little example. But then when you get the heated arguments, and then that talking starts happening through the kids, that just drives. I can't put up with that because,
you go tell your daddy to get out of the house.
Yeah, exactly. That's not. I'm really upset because I with your daddy would just go out in the rain right now and stay there. But that's what happens though with the kids. That they can get ignored or they can be used as tools, and we all have to work to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
Outstanding 2 episodes. You guys liked it? I mean, did it tie up everything? Did it leave cliffhangers? What are we thinking about going into hopefully getting the next season?
I'm definitely wondering what they're going to show us next.
Yeah.
I'm ready for them to make up. I can't believe Tasha still does not trust Marcus.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that next season we'll see them gel again.
Right.
Well, it's impossible for Tasha to love Marcus because Angela would have to love him.
I'm
So
sorry.
that's a stretch. You make that happen, you are good.
Angela and Marcus. But also I would like to see the other relationships also more.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, we definitely don't know enough of what we would like to about Keisha and Richard's character, so that would be good. We get a little bit of that. We actually do get a lot of Leslie Joseph.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You get a lot of the outside. You haven't got a lot of the inside.
You guys are the mediators.
Yet. Yeah, whenever there's drama. There's very little talk between me and her. It's usually been reactions
with other characters
and we're like a triage center or something.
Cool. So we hope, and you guys hopefully will give us the word, or we'll be following on Twitter when the official word of when this season will get picked up. We're hoping,
Yeah, well, I hope so.
Because it's been fun to make, right? I mean, you're in it, right?
It's been a blast, and I think the way that they've structured the storylines is a lot of ways that can go. What is really going on with this woman and Marcus and the photograph, and
they still haven't told us.
Is somebody trying to make a play for him? How will it affect our business? Will we come under jeopardy? How will the three fellas bind together, and will it tear us apart?
Right.
Like you said, in the relationships, where are they going to go, and are they going to find some peace?
There was a tweet that came out last week. It was from Tyler Perry. Jesse, I believe, has it, and he'll do a social media report in a little bit after we do commercial or whatnot. But there was a tweet about what Tyler wrote, and it was right after this episode. I guess would be 7 and 8 aired last Friday. So I guess it was in response to somebody saying, "Oh, this is not really real Atlanta or the real stories of these types of people.
Well, people were saying that it was just over the top, burning the cars and just setting stuff on fire and stuff like that. Over the top, right?
So this was his tweet answering.
It's dramatic, but it really does happen.
Yeah, it does.
So in rebuttal to that, Tyler Perry wrote, or Tylee as I like to call him, I love how people say this doesn't really happen. They didn't grow up in my neighborhood, lol.
Right. They haven't been part of my family.
Right?
Because all my family's spicy.
I had an old girlfriend that had many tales of sugar and gas tanks and all that. Like she started telling me that date too. Right. We ended on date 5.
Bail.
After I read that story, I was like, this just isn't a relationship for me.
No, man, there's been plenty of stories of women burning stuff down, man. In Atlanta,
Yeah.
Burning stuff down, cutting things off.
Right.
Thank you, right?
Yeah.
People get intense, and it's the love, though. Is it the love, or you think the hate that makes people do it?
Oh, what a good question.
Because you turn crazy.
It's
the
love. It's the love combined with that you're in a situation like a family or a business where you just can't leave. Even my sister. I mean, her and her husband. Kind of like. They're like my litmus test for this show. They live in Alexandria. They're well off. They're college educated for a few generations. The whole thing. Black folks doing their thing in Alexandria. And when she first watched the first one, I was like, "What do you think?" She's like, "God." She's like, "Black people fighting on TV again is just so unrealistic. Like the whole fist fight thing." Now the thing is, I was like, "Whoa." Okay, but my sister's not little. My mom's not little.
Right.
I remember them getting in fist fights that made the house shake, and the house was made of brick. Okay, and I'm not kidding. When she was in high school, okay, and I'm like, this doesn't happen. Like people completely they want to divorce themselves from the reality of their lives somehow when they see it on TV.
I think no matter who you are, no matter what your race, as long as there's passion there,
that's what it is.
That's where it's gonna come across right. Because you got that passion going in the positive way, it's gonna come back as negative.
I was getting interviewed by this interviewing the guy. He was gay, and he was talking about his relationship, and he's like, look. Forget about men and women. He said, my partner is 6'2", 210. You want to see a fist fight? Come over our house. And I was like, wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah, you didn't even think about it.
Wow. Okay.
You can get your partner back.
Right. I think it's passion and it's a lack of control because you when you fall in love with someone like that, you lose control if you don't get what you want. And I think their lashing out has a lot to do with trying to take back the control. So I think that's what it is.
My wife is the sweetest woman on earth.
Release control though.
She has thrown so many deadly objects at me. I can't even.
Oh yeah, I can still remember the crystal ball being thrown at me.
She's half Italian. She's half Italian, half Costa Rican. Sweetest woman in the world.
That's all I had to hear.
And I've had.
What has been thrown at you, Jason? Let's share.
Okay, everyone will know this one. IKEA, those tumblers you buy them like the big ones, the heavy ones. They're like
your wife is gonna kill you, Jason.
Through a hall, through a door. Through another room into the wall, like
oh no, women have good aim when it comes to that kind of
I
stuff.
feel like this is gonna be wrote into Joseph's
Oh man,
the real season 1, episode 4.
Kylie, if you're listening,
I tweeted this morning. I said I had a nightmare that Leslie came after Joseph with the frying pan, and then he woke up and he remembered that she doesn't know where they are.
There you go.
Oh, and how funny was it? I've been saying for a little while, Ken, about Maricela should be like something like the receptionist or whatever. Did they not have a nice little Latina girl that did the clothing? Could have been her.
Oh yeah, that could have been Maddie.
So I think she was a Miss Georgia.
Yes, that was Miss Georgia.
I thought that scene
okay,
was
now it sounds like I'm discrediting. I'm sorry, Miss Georgia. I didn't even think like that.
Well, you know what?
Ronnie just loves me. Ronnie's just trying to plug me. He loves me. But in regards to that scene, that was a hot scene where she's like getting his wardrobe ready. But how funny was it when she just like overlooks when Todd's like
put your hands
trying
down,
to get in
she
there?
says.
Yeah, he's always popping up out of nowhere.
What was his comic line on that? He said,
try
me on.
No, and he goes, I own the company.
Yeah,
one of the owners.
What was he? I'm not Todd, I'm God, or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm God.
He had some nice one-liners today. today.
Somebody had tweeted out that that one was.
Yeah, in regards to that though, the laugh track, there had been some stuff going around on the Twitter and Facebook. Do we need it? Do we not? And I see, a lot of closure right now from the fans, just saying they're on board with the religious stuff. They're on board without the laugh track. I think people have really grown to love and appreciate the characters
because they actually released control. They didn't go in watching the show. No, it's like, what does Oprah always say? Surrender, or whatever. Like it needs to be a sitcom or it needs to be a drama. No, just relax, go with it. So now they've invested in the story and everything's been good. Because this episode I would analyze as dramatic, but there was some really good comedy moments. I think Jennifer, she did some really funny comic moments, and she did something where it was like funny, and she dipped right into a question that I think is staying with Angela. She said, Jen asks, well, what if you were wrong? So and I thought, did that hit everyone else? I thought that was kind of cool in the sense.
We haven't seen Jennifer play that Joseph role.
Well, regardless, Angela's clearly, anytime someone's crazy and angry or frustrated or whatever, that tough shell, there's still that insecurity deep down. I think Jen being the one to hit her with that question, Angela was, I don't know, did you guys see the way she played it as an actress?
Yeah. And that's one of the big differences with this show. I mean, I think a lot of people are still after 10 episodes getting used to the fact that these are well-rounded people. It's not like the other 3 camera comedies where the characters basically don't grow. I'm a personal huge fan of Meet the Browns. I love it. I laugh at that show out loud. I think it's hilarious. I don't feel slighted by it. I don't think it represents all black people. I don't think people. I don't think people are gonna think that I'm Mr. Brown walking down the street. I don't have any of those worries about that show. I watch it. I laugh my butt off. I think it's hysterical. But those people don't really grow.
Right.
In our show, Todd's gonna grow. Everyone's gonna grow.
Right.
You just don't have time. I mean, part of the reason that there's 2 shows back to back. Can you imagine if this was only a half hour every week? People would be like, I just got started. I just got started.
We actually get to develop relationships.
I mean,
with you guys.
everybody, you see a lot of stuff out there about God. This just needs to be an hour. It just needs to be an hour because when you're in it, that's what it feels like, and you want to get that closure. I'm gonna keep talking here because you had a good point last week. And I felt like we saw it a little this week with the difference with the shots, and the camera was a little different.
Very, very cinematic. And I think that, eased this sort of desire to want to have the laugh track. And the one thing I'll say, man, I've just had such admiration for Tyler to try something different, to just not rest on the laurels. I can do another House of Pain. I can do another Meet the Browns, but I'm going to do something. And to have that resistance, it's like people, I want, when some of the tweets like, I don't know when to laugh, or I feel uncomfortable laughing in my house by myself, that sort of thing. You've seen those, right?
Yeah, no, for real.
So I was like, okay, laugh when you want to laugh, and it's all right.
In fact, one of the people who always tweets today, she wrote, when Todd said, this is not Todd, it's God. Her tweet was, oh my God, I just laughed by myself for the first time. I was like, good for you.
I admire that, how can you find something new and different if you don't try something new and different?
Right.
And so
you got to risk some failure.
You have directing and producing background as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I directed a number of shorts and directed my first feature, which came out on DVD last year. It's called Sister's Keeper, about this hitman. And actually, Denise Boutte, who plays Mr. Brown's daughter, plays Sasha Brown.
Right, I saw that.
She's actually my lead actress in it, and I discovered her before Tyler. I plucked her for
you gotta get your credit in there.
Exactly,
Shoot.
and she did a great job. So I'm really proud of that little movie. Went on the festival circuit with it, went to London, went all over the place with that little film, and got it out in the world. And so it's
Is it hard to go back and forth between behind the scenes and the production arena and then being on camera?
No, actually, it's more like a vacation.
Oh.
I'm telling you, it's like if all I have to do today is show up and hit this mark and make you believe what I'm saying, and I'm not worrying about, hey, one of the production trucks has a flat and we can't get the company on, we got to get all the equipment. Here's a phone call from payroll, workman's comp risk assessment.
Damn it.
Get Jennifer on.
Yeah, exactly. So if I can come to work and don't have to deal with that, man.
And does it help each other, art or whatever? I mean, you would assume like, okay, now because you're doing the behind the scenes stuff, now your acting will be better. Does your acting get better and vice versa?
It's such a collaborative thing and such a team thing. I feel like I really have a sense of, what's my role today? And when I say that, what's my role is, how can I help get this job done? What do I need to contribute for us to make the day? Because when you've been on the, on my show, on that film, I had to make my days. If I didn't make the day, I was going to lose the show. I would lose the whole film. And so there was one day we were on our sets where the paint didn't dry. So we couldn't do the scene. So it's like, what do I really have, 50 people sit around and wait for paint to dry? Or do I send them home and say, guys, I've been really good about our 10-hour days. Can you give me maybe a 13-hour day tomorrow,
What did you do in that situation?
I sent everybody home and they came back the next day. And of course, I had to adjust, I can't do that. I know my crew, we can't get that done. I got to do that differently. I got to be more economical here, Got it done, and I made my day. I had no choice. I was like, I can't lose this film. I got to make my day.
When you're on set with Tyler and he's instructing you and directing you and telling you what to do on the show, do you ever want to hop in like, I think that we should do it like this? Like, do you ever want to put your director hat on? Do you ever have the itch?
My thing is like, what is in your head that you need to try to get out? Let me try to help you get there. And then what I try to do to try to make that work for me and if I'm having problems with it, like, listen, okay, I know what you want in your head, but I'm having difficulty. Is there something else to
translate?
Translate. Yeah. So all right, so let's do that. And so if I can knock that out for you, then we can keep it moving.
Well, quick question for both the actors, Jason and Kent. Yeah. How is it now that you have this experience of working on the show and then getting immediate feedback from your fans on Twitter and Facebook and everything like that? Does that affect the way that you're going to move forward? It's horrible, right?
Adoration is not good.
No, right. No, I mean, the response has been mixed, but largely and incredibly positive. So that's been really nice. I think there's another way that the immediacy works as well. Kind of sticking on this thought Kent was just speaking on, is that for us, seeing the show and the camera angles and the coloration and all those things really makes a difference in determining how you're going to play something as an actor, and what's playing and what's not. And what we were noticing while we were watching the show tonight was that there was a lot of, basically it's, for us, the camera angles seemed to get a little bit better. The movement with the cameras seemed to be tighter, and it just seemed like the shots of the show in the last, I would say three episodes really seemed to match the pace of the show a lot better. So you just see everybody getting better. It's not just the actors. It's the writers. It's the lighting team. It's the DP and the photography of it. Everything is getting tighter and tighter. Right. To this last one, you saw a lot of great kind of walk and talk shots. Exactly. A lot of handheld shots. The handheld shots are the ones that you're seeing. They're kind of moving and really close. There was that nice one with Marcus at the bottom of the stairs. Kind of, I really noticed that one was a real, nice kind of head and shoulder
who
shot.
was really working the Steadicam was the actress Miss V, playing the maid.
You're right,
because she would work that camera angle and she'd give those one-liners. She went off, man. She was it was
and
hot.
So that all adds really to the feel of the film.
Yeah, because you guys are now a unit. Yeah,
and then we as actors can say take that and go, okay, this is kind of what it's going to be. Great. Now we can adjust our timing as well.
Right. And you know what? When from the very first episodes, and I think you and I talked about this, what I was really impressed with is that they really honed in on some of the subtlety of the work that we were trying to do, some of the back and forth. And they're like, wow, they're really sort of keying in and not, wanting us to be broad, allowing us to be a little more intimate and really sort of picking up on some of the reaction stuff and letting that help propel the story along. And I was really, juiced up to see that. I was like, oh man, this is good. Like they're really tuning in to us.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot going on here. Hit us up if you guys do want to talk to the cast here. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729. We'll come back. I got some questions for Kent. Of course, everyone could chime in, and we'll do a social media report. And then, Kent, just kind of tell us what you think about the show and what you're excited about and all that.
Right now?
Yeah,
I'm just seeing what
tweets,
Kent.
Seeing what folks are saying, man.
There we go. Well, let's hit a commercial again. If you guys want to talk to us, 424-256-1729. We are watching Tyler Perry's For Better or Worse. This is the after show on AfterBuzz TV. Here's commercial.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you. A lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows.
AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Well, today you are buzzing about Tyler Perry's For Better or Worse. This hit show on CBS that
All right, we have some callers ready for you.
Ooh. AfterBuzz, hello. Tyler Perry's For Better or Worse. What's up, phone caller?
Yes, hi, my name is John, and I wanted to share a comment with you guys.
Hey, John.
I think he said his name was Sean.
Oh, Sean John. Got it.
Sean John.
Okay, what's your comment, man?
Okay, my comment is, at first I started off watching the show, didn't think too much of it, but, as I followed the series, I'm starting to like the characters a lot more. And regarding the previous episodes from last week and kind of transitioning into this week, I felt so bad for Marcus last week, with his wife doing everything, treating him the way he's been treated, and he's just been so solemn coming into his house and not having suits to wear or a good car to
Poor
drive.
guy.
Exactly, right.
So I want to know how you guys feel about how it feels like the tables have been turned now. It's like he's getting all the attention from his wife now, and before he was pleading with her, and asking her to believe him, and now she's the one who has to go ahead and try to get his attention.
Right.
So what do you guys think of that?
Well, you're clearly Team Marcus.
Right.
But go ahead, Kent. What do you think about all that?
Wow, that's funny. I think it's interesting how he's set up that dynamic to play out. I think it's quite real in any sort of relationships. There is that back and forth and that that pull and tug of, and to see her in maybe this either an emotional turnabout or needing to make an emotional turnabout. I thought it was very effective of how Mike played the role in terms of having someone that you love to do something. I mean, if you really think about it in the reality, if someone, would you do that to your worst enemy, that you would just burn up all their stuff, and that's someone that you say that you love?
That was pretty wild.
That was
right?
awful. That was awful. It was a great scene.
Great scene.
Has she felt guilty about that yet? Not really, huh?
No.
She's
Is she gonna?
defending it. She's like, I don't care.
Right.
Angela's owning it.
I want to see her feel guilty a little bit. I mean, she's just
exactly like I shouldn't have done
Well, I
that
saw
way.
somebody,
Or
and not to jump on
cut
media,
her
but I
money.
saw somebody tweet, how many of us have watched Waiting to Excel when we've gone through a breakup or a man has done something wrong?
Right.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, you have watched.
When Angela Bassett throws that match into the
So were you this
car,
close of doing that
I
same
would
kind
not
of
ever do that because I'm
'Cause it's
sorry, I
crazy.
just don't mess with material items. Don't do it. I feel like the worst punishment you can do to someone when they've misbehaved is just remove yourself from their life.
Sure.
That to me is the worst that I will ever do.
What do you think, Jason? What do you think in terms of what the caller was saying in terms of now that Angela's in a role?
The
of needing
tables have
to-
turned.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sleep in the bed you lie made. I'm sorry, lie in the bed you made. You know,
Right.
I mean, so yeah, she definitely did some things that were,
Yeah.
Inexcusable.
unexcusable,
Right.
and now she's gonna have to kind of reap the rewards of those decisions.
Right.
It's like I said, the ball's in her court because he
She has to
put
make
it
a
all on the
choice.
table. He said I did wrong, and now it's all up to her.
Right.
There's nobody else. Like it's
Right.
not gonna be the son. It's not gonna be the maid. It's not gonna be Marcus. It's gonna be her.
They're gonna work it out though.
Yeah.
think so?
The
Okay.
season comes back. They're working
Oh,
it
real
out.
quick, thank you, caller. We appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Sean. We appreciate you.
Kent, Sean John, right? Kent, I want to talk about on Twitter. So people are giving you a response, but some people don't know it's the last episode, right? What,
Yeah,
didn't you get
someone was saying, let me pull it back up. It was like, where did it go? Someone's like, no more For Better after this week. Aw.
Yeah, and people are just getting into it.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
do your part. And then, if you guys want to tweet the For Better Twitter page, it's TP_FBOW. So just tweet that Twitter handle and let them know you love the show and want to see more of it. I'm sure that would help. We'll do a social media report in one second. Real quick, can I ask you two actors here on the show, guest stars? I mean, I don't know if that's something that you're gonna do, but if there was guest stars, if there was like an Angela's mom or Marcus's mother or father, who would you guys want to see as guest stars? I mean, I don't know why I think Vanessa Williams, no matter what, but
You know what? I get a lot of questions are people from the film going to make appearances on the show? You know, is Jill Scott going to drop in or Janet or whatever? And I think it'd be great to bring that other world into this world.
It's always great when you get guest stars, just to mix it up and bring in that extra energy and just not knowing what they're going to do.
This pilot
yeah, I was going to
season.
say the 10 episodes was good without it, but I mean, just maybe moving forward, it would be kind of cool for the next one.
Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that there weren't actually, real guest stars. I mean, I guess you could say maybe the maid was I don't know. Maybe a guest star, what I mean? But think about any other show. What other show goes 10 episodes without a guest star?
Sure.
It doesn't happen. So I mean, the fact that
let the work speak for itself.
The fact that this show could carry itself for 10 episodes is pretty
That's
amazing.
why I'm excited, because I think if they did do it, would be interesting. Like, who is we don't know who is Angela's mother. Like, and is she
Right, we haven't seen any outside.
Is she a nurturing mother, or is she more like Keisha Cole's mother? Like, I want to know. We want to start learning these things.
I mean, it'd be interesting to explore. Where did she start from, and has she been running away from something? And does she have, like you say, ghetto fabulous mama?
Yeah,
or whatever,
with my character too, because I mean, Joseph is obviously mixed. So there was some talk about. I heard some talk about bringing on a mom for me that I was a little bit like, whoa.
Joanna Grimes from Growing Pains.
There it is. Wholesome.
That would be hilarious.
That's why you shop at Whole Foods, right?
Yeah. There were some things thrown around that I was like, wow. Really?
Kent, what has been the reaction? You've done a lot of different projects. We'll get into all that in a little bit, but like just the reaction to now be part of this show, and obviously there's a buzz with that. I mean, how do you say it without saying it like interestingly? You're everyone knows you now, like through the Tyler Perry Show on a different level. You're part of this scene, this movement, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
been a thrill, and definitely for people who've been like following my career from and to see it now. I had even some people back in New York, tweeting me of the billboard in Times Square, and they were just all excited. And I did get a little excited about that. I rarely get up for anything, but I was like, oh man, that's all right. I mean, after trudging those streets for a number of years and going through Times Square, man, to have something like that was it's just been an exciting ride. Just a lot of support, particularly growing up in North Carolina and then in my time in New York, just a lot of well wishers and saying, man, it's great, and I've been one of these cats that I've thankfully just had this steady progression. I've always kind of had a gig.
Awesome projects though, like with Will Smith, Men in Black, and then also American Beauty. You did that as well.
I can't wait
Charmed. I love that show.
Yeah, I had a nice little recurring on that.
Film and TV.
So I've been, steadily,
You just went from Men in Black to Charmed.
I know, but Charmed is so good. What's wrong with that?
That's great. That's cool. I don't watch Charmed, but that's cool.
Right on.
She's all over the board.
Right. So I've just been, this steady little trot, and then to have this come along, and the biggest blessing has been able to work with these guys, man. This has been an amazing cast, like really real family, you know? And it fell in so fast. And
North Carolina, is it a lot of Bible? I mean, it's kind of the Bible Belt too, isn't it?
It is.
Does it kind of curve up there? The
a little bit, but it's it's very progressive. I grew up in Raleigh. It's NC State and Duke and Chapel. It's a big college area, so it's really highly educated area. So it is the South, but it's.
So when you were young, were you always like destined to come to Los Angeles and be, or even New York first? I know you stopped in New York first.
Yeah, no, I was one of these people. I was blessed, man. I knew since like age 5 that I wanted to be in that. I remember looking at the TV, going, I know exactly what that is, but I think I can. I think I can.
I want to be in there.
Right. Okay, cheesy little round full circle story. When I was young, the big thing was Saturday was Love Boat and Fantasy Island. Okay. That was the big lineup, though, right? So I remember being a little kid, and I would be up maybe at my grandmother's. She lived a couple hours away from where we lived, and like, I think I want to do that, right? Fast forward 20 years, Aaron Spelling has, Love Boat, The New Wave. They bring back the Love Boat, and I'm doing a guest star playing Phil Morris's younger brother. Wow. And he's a widow. He's been widowed now for 3 years. And let's bring him on Love Boat, get him out of his morning funk, right? So, and I remember we shooting up at Canoga Park, man. I remember being on the promenade deck set going, man, little kid from North Carolina, 3,000 miles. I made it to
you were like
TV,
basking in the moment.
I know, right? As cheesy as that was, I was like, wow, so
no way, live it up.
I know, right? So that was, as a young kid, man, I always knew.
So he was ready to do it, and then you try other things like the directing and stuff, which will give you a longevity, which is great. We definitely think that's cool too. Let's do a social media report real quick. We like to kind of see what's going on in the social media world, and sometimes we just make fun of Jason's tweets. Really, when it comes down to it. No, his tweets are so good on For Better stuff, and then during the week he's just a different person altogether. That's what he's shopping at Whole Foods.
He does get creative.
Exactly. No, but I know we love to follow our celebrity tweets, but I wanted to go to a fan tweet real quick. Yes. Is from Angela Love You, and it does kind of tie in with the celebrity tweet a little bit too.
This is a regular, just a fan, right?
Yeah, Angela Love You. Her name is Angela Benson, and she tweets at Tasha Smith for real, representing CMD, Camden, New Jersey. Right. Beautiful picture you giving kids from Camden hope. And she tweets a picture right there. You can see Tasha.
So for the people on iTunes who are not watching right now, it's basically, I guess, Angela was in the South Jersey Journal. It's kind of where she grew up. And this was not Tasha necessarily, promoting herself, because if she did, she'd be on Twitter all day, because obviously she has a lot of press right now. But it was somebody who grew up in her neighborhood who was just proud of her, took the picture, she tweeted Angela, and Tasha retweeted it. So, do you see what the connection can be on, social media? That's why we like to kind of showcase that.
And just a little tidbit, giving Angela a little bit more shine. She tweeted at Michael Jai White, why you didn't tell Angela that somebody cropped that picture. Technology is a bummer. Right? Just a little suggestion. Maybe somebody cropped the picture. No, of the cheating on actual For Better. Not this picture.
I was like, wait, what?
Even Angela believes. Even Tasha believes him.
Yeah, exactly.
She's looking extra divalicious in that picture too.
She is.
Is she spicy certified
spicy
right there?
Certified.
There it is.
What else we got over there, guys?
All right. I know last week, we talked about Tasha being on B Magazine, being on the cover of the magazine, Be Entertained. And this week, it's all about Miss Kiki.
Kiki, Tasha, Coco.
Exactly.
And Crystal.
She's on the cover of Maybach.
I threw this assignment to her because I had no idea how to pronounce it.
I told him I'll screw it up. Yeah. But she's on the cover. She looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, she does.
And of course, that's Kiki Haynes, and she plays Keisha. I think that's kind of Spicy Marty's doppelganger. Don't you guys think she got a little like her?
In this picture.
Yeah. Got the hair flip
she's
thing
looking
going
extra
on.
spicy right there.
And so, of course, she retweeted the magazine and, talked about the interview that they had with her on the show. And Maybach. It's a new format of a magazine. It's like what is it called?
It's a
tablazine. So it's, meant for your iPads and your tablets and things like that.
So you're not going to see this in print, but you can read it on your iPad.
Exactly.
I love the connection. Again, 8-10 years ago when actors had a show, the only exposure you got from them, of course, were the big TV shows and stuff. But now you're getting everything. You know what I mean? Maybe I wouldn't have seen this on a show, but now because I'm following everything that Kiki's doing on her Twitter page, you get to know these things. So, and the connection too with the fans talking to the celebrity. I mean, again, going back to this Tasha thing, Tasha didn't promote herself in the New Jersey Journal, but this other girl happened to have the same name, Angela. She was proud of it. She tweeted it, and Tasha Smith retweeted, showing that support. So,
I mean, on previous projects, have you guys ever been this involved, where you're tweeting at your actual fans? You're communicating.
That's what I was
with
trying to say.
I had a Facebook page before this all went, and we were down.
What about
in
a
Hannah,
MySpace?
Way back, right?
Friendster.
So the TBS people came and they gave us this orientation about tweeting. I was like, all right, I guess I need to.
There was
an
a
account.
class.
Oh man, yeah.
I want to teach that class next time. One of us.
Learning about the hashtag and all that, man.
I had a funny one tonight where this woman, I was trying to find it here. She tweeted, "Oh, this is getting ugly." And what'd
you do, Jason? What'd you say?
I finally learned how to requote.
Oh,
right. I learned that.
Welcome
this
to 2010.
Thank you. and I requoted whoa, ugly,
That's your congratulations.
Well, ugly. I was like, wait, ugly, and she was like, oh my God, you treated me. No, I didn't mean ugly. No, it's not ugly. But it's funny because you kind of hold you accountable too. I mean,
I'm looking at this one from Angela Benson. She was like, Tyler Perry, oh wow, for better, that was a test. Well, I believe you passed. Awesome work, you know.
It is just
back in the day, you'd never get
It
that.
makes you feel good, though,
Yeah.
does it not? When you hear this feedback immediately?
Exactly. It does. It's good. that
I've never
people
seen anything like that. I mean, previously on television shows, it seems like years ago, this wasn't, you guys weren't privileged to this.
Right. And this forum is like amazing that you can watch a show and then
Say
tune
that
in.
again? I missed that. What'd you say?
About AfterBuzz TV.
The AfterBuzz is amazing.
okay.
This forum, you can watch a show and then be able to tune in and be able to be like, wow, and get an insight into it. It's an amazing.
I mean,
idea.
we just get shocked, like myself, Lauren, Jesse, Marty. Like there's 6 people as the main aspects of this cast, and we've had 5 in. One who's with us every week. I mean, that to us is like, and who wouldn't?
I'm sorry.
No, thank you. I mean, that is touching your fan base, and the people that have hit us up even on Twitter. I mean, we're just kind of commenting on the show. It's been good. So I mean,
We need to have a name, Jason Michael Kent.
Yeah. These are the things we're going to do. These are the things we're going to do in the off season.
Well, of course, no social media report is complete without a tweet from Jason Olive.
Yeah.
So, Jason, I'll give you a chance. Do you know which one I favorited?
Which one is he going to choose?
I have no idea.
No? Okay, well, here it is right now. It's seasonal.
I think he makes them up.
No, Jason,
Right,
I've got proof.
To make it a better story.
My 4-year-old asked Santa for toe shoes that fit like
my
socks.
family
With
tweets.
individual toes and an iPad. These are the weekly tweets, during the week. Said shoes were good for her body.
I do
iPad
want
good to
those.
spell.
Yeah.
Toe shoes.
Yeah.
Can you explain
I
that?
thought you were talking
4
ballet
years
or
old.
something.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
she's 4 years old, and her mom has these shoes because they're supposed to be good for your back and everything. And so she said, last year we said, what do you want for Christmas? She said, a Barbie doll and a candy cane. Oh, perfect. No problem. We're actually down in Mexico. The Barbie doll cost $5. The candy cane was free with the checkout. This year, toe shoes, which, by the way, for a little girl cost $65.
What?
And an iPad.
Wait,
I'm
so
like,
what
what
did she
happened to
ask
the
for?
$5 Barbie doll and the free
You know what
candy
the
cane?
4-year-old
They grow up
said?
so
She said, my daddy's on a TBS
Yeah,
show.
she did.
My daddy's
And
down
she
with
was like,
Tyler
but
Perry.
Daddy, I see you on
So let
TV
me
every
write-
day.
Right.
She wants to tweet
But
you.
yeah, she wants the.
Wow.
But here's the funny thing. She says the iPad. She says, "Well, why do you want the iPad? So I can spell." Where you're like, "Oh my God, it's so great." And then she has her friend's iPad, and she goes, "Papa, watch me spell." And I'm like, "Oh, great, cool." And she goes, "Hello, my name is Kalyani," and the thing writes, "Hello, my name is Kalyani."
Kind of like Siri.
So she's like, turns around, "See, Papa, I can spell."
Isn't that amazing how young kids can learn
They're
technology
not
so
going to
quickly?
know
My
how to
daughter
write.
is 2.
None of them will know how to write.
And just uses my phone every day. Opens up, makes phone calls.
That's
Yep.
hilarious.
And they go to the
that.
TV and they touch it and they think it's going to scroll.
Yeah.
And they touch the TV like, I
Figure
know
it
I
out.
can get the cartoons somehow.
Well, you got to get her those.
Well, the question of the day
That's
is
funny.
Santa coming through?
Yeah, Santa came through with the
It's
toe
for her
shoes.
health.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I came
the
through with
iPad
the
is
toe
for her
shoes.
education.
Yeah, no, I mean, we came through with the toe shoes. We're going with the Leap Pad, which
Yeah,
is
those
about
are-
10 times more difficult to get than an iPad.
Really?
Did you know this?
Really?
Everywhere these Leap Pads, they're sold out, but they're great little educational toys.
Yeah.
And I'm not on retainer.
Exactly.
But, no, but they're amazing. these
But
little
you're
Leap
open to
Pad.
the idea,
Yeah, but I am
There
I'm
it
open.
is.
My manager 212.
There it is. I got one final tweet here, and Kent, you might recognize this one from Randy C. Bonds.
Yes. Did an
Tweets
interview
at
with
Kent
Randy.
Faulcon from Tyler Perry's For Better or Worse is doing an amazing interview with And We Present right now. Stay tuned for the story.
Yeah, I did an interview with those guys. Was it yesterday? Maybe the day before yesterday. And they're great young. They basically another online magazine, and young journalist cat man. And they're trying to take the internet world by storm. I enjoyed talking with them.
So did you go through the history? I pulled a couple of screen caps here of
Oh,
some
wow.
of your
There's-
past experiences.
There you are at work.
Yeah, man.
The classic Men in
Will
Black.
Smith?
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy. Jada and I went to college together. We were
wow.
at the School of the Arts together in North Carolina.
Anything we should know about?
No, she used to have blue hair. Other than that, no,
Darn it.
nothing like that.
She
No,
meant,
no, no,
she
no.
meant
Juice.
the spice of it.
No. It was all cool. I remember and working.
Don't worry, we'll talk about it off camera.
Right. We were shooting down at Sony, and she came by to visit Will, and she's driving this beautiful little blue Mercedes thing, right? So she didn't see me, and I'm walking through and going to my trailer, and I go, it's a long way from that piece of crap red Toyota you used to drive in school, right? And she's like, oh, so we was like, hey, I still have that car, right? So it was a good time. It was a good shoot on that.
Oh,
so
that's so cool.
2 weeks. And and you got me up there from 24.
24.
Mm-hmm. Had no idea how popular that show was until I was like,
it's huge.
That show was huge. After that episode, what's going to happen?
I just bought
what's
that whole
going to
season
happen?
as a gift for someone this Christmas.
I did background on 24. It was fun.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Shot around
They're
here.
making
Probably
a
the
movie.
same
They're
episode.
making a movie.
They're
Yeah,
making
right?
a 24 movie.
He was that young punk in the corner. He was the guy that ruined your day.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's right. And then that's from Charmed when I played
Sorry.
Crew's
Clue
boss.
Badge.
Yeah.
I'm a Charmed fan.
Yeah,
Just represented.
yeah.
I'm your groupie. Sorry.
Shannon Doherty. I was always
And there's your working behind the scenes on your film.
yep. You doing that? I remember shooting the office building in Van Nuys, man.
And again, all these things we maybe will miss, but on the social media level, that's how we found out about that interview. So
Well, there it is.
yeah,
awesome.
so
And you were on
basically-
Boston Legal too, right?
I actually just did another David Kelly show. I just did a thing on Harry's Law with Kathy Bates.
Oh,
Little
that-
thing
that's
people
awesome.
might not know, our host right there, Ronnie Jr., was also on Boston Legal.
Right on,
No,
man.
Boston Public.
Ah,
But I was just,
It was Boston
I was
something.
trying to make the
Yeah.
connection.
I went to Boston Market.
I ate some
Oh, there it is.
I ate some Boston baked beans the other day.
Lauren? That was very
Boston
anything?
No.
I'm trying to make the
wanna
Boston
know,
connection.
No. I'm switching. I want to know, how long have you been, I guess, professionally acting?
Since 5 years old, when
been
you're not
doing this
listening.
for so long.
You know, I got blessed when I was even in North Carolina. I did this. It was a TV show they shot out of the CBS studios in Raleigh, and I played a teenage time traveler, and it came on Saturday mornings. Right, it was a little show called Sparks. So that kind of gave me like a stepping stone, you know. It allowed me to work I did that show for 4 years, right?
Wow.
So I had the little local celebrity, but you couldn't see it everywhere in North Carolina. So if I go to my grandmother's house, you know, I was just still, you know, you need to take out that trash, you know. So didn't get that
like, I'm a
big
star.
head, I know, right?
Have
Didn't
you
get that
seen
big
me,
head
Grandma?
thing. Didn't get the, you know, overexposed Gary Coleman, Emmanuel. You know, none of that happened
But
to
you were
me.
a teenager at that time.
But I was a teenager. And
So you knew at 5, but then like 13, 14,
I
that's
actually
when you
started
got
working,
something.
you know, and
That's pretty cool.
And my first film was this thing called Dream a Little Dream with Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Oh my goodness.
And and I was watching those guys, and there was another actor
Corey's.
on there, and even then you could see that, you know, things were going to be rocky for those two, and he just pulled me to the side, like, dude, don't do that. And
Don't play with those kids.
Yeah, man.
That's what
Basically,
you said.
don't
Play with those kids.
So
don't
how is
go
it
that
shooting in
route.
Atlanta, you guys? You guys shoot
Oh,
Atlanta, right?
this is amazing. Yeah, I loved Atlanta. I wasn't sure what to think because I've always felt like there was only 2 places I could live, which was LA and Hawaii.
Right.
And I went to Atlanta. I was like, wow, this is
Yeah, no,
I could
man.
do this. This is fantastic.
You know, I grew up in Raleigh, man, so Atlanta
No
felt
way.
like, you know, I know this. you
Is
know.
there other Raleigh, North Carolina, like people that have made it and become successful? Are you one of few? One of our AfterBuzz girls, Star Session, she
Right.
represents Raleigh.
yeah.
So
Does
I'm
she
like,
really?
so I'm like, I'm like looking at the camera, like Star
I'm trying
Session
to think who else
reps
is,
Raleigh.
I think the what's her name on CSI Miami?
Oh, I
the
watched
blonde,
that show. I don't know her name,
Brockton?
though.
Yeah, I think she's
thought
from
you were
Raleigh. Clay Aiken, I think, is from.
Clay
So there you go.
Raleigh.
He's gonna be on Celebrity Apprentice. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Cool. So Raleigh, you represent. Let's do like just a couple things off the top of your mind here. Favorite TV shows. Just tell us the shows that you watch. Doesn't have to be things you worked on or Tyler
Right.
Perry shows.
what you
Just
liking, man?
TV.
Oh, you
no.
like it?
This was a good question. This was
You know what?
I know you're trying to read your right.
This was called
Artist Spotlight.
Thinking Quick.
You know, someone turned me on to this, and the AMC, The Walking Dead.
Oh, we do a recap for that.
It's
I
not,
believe.
yeah, man. I didn't even think it was
AfterBuzz
my thing, man. I started, you know, I said, oh, let me just watch. And I was like,
Isn't it cool how you could get into shows you're just like, I'm
Dude.
never gonna like. It's not my thing.
exactly. And that whole Spartacus thing on Stars.
Oh.
You know, I saw that for the first
Just had
time
an
last
orgasm
night.
right now.
Dude.
First time.
Was that
That's my
Spicy.
favorite show.
What did you just say? You just said what?
Spicy. You got locked.
Spicy alert.
Wow.
Spicy alert.
Orgasm.
Is that
Sorry,
all it
guys.
takes? Right.
Spicy. You got to lock down Kent for Spartacus.
My chair
You have to
vibrated.
come. Yes, we're going to be doing AfterBuzz for Spartacus,
Oh, right on.
and Sean Overman and I are going to be hosting it, and you have to come because anybody who loves Spartacus has won my heart over. So you are coming
Beautiful.
on the show.
We're
doing an after show.
Started, it's like,
AfterBuzz.
oh, I'll give the first episode a try. I'm
No.
like, eh. And I was like, man,
Phenomenal.
characters. I'm looking up these actors, like, who are these people, man?
Yeah.
They
Amazing. It's just amazing.
rock, yeah.
It's amazing. And unfortunately, the person who played Spartacus
Passed away, yeah.
But never have a show so good that the leading actor passes away and the show is still
still
phenomenal. That's
Get sick.
Television.
We'll
That's
go
a nice-
back and do 6
that's a
episodes
nice
of
sell.
a build-up so he can get well And then
if you need to know how to do it, call us because we're totally good at switching episodes around. Hey, we just got a little tweet from Crystal Stewart. Yeah, and she says, "Thank you to everyone who supported for better or worse. Love you."
Aww, Crystal.
Gotta love Crystal.
Cool. Gosh, that was
okay. So Spartacus.
Spartacus thing just
and what else?
What other shows are there? I'm trying to catch up with Mad Men. You know, because everyone talked about it.
I heard that was good. I haven't caught that one. It's good.
You know, I'm just hitting episode 7. I was just at the brink of going, this is just not happening. It's starting to hook me. It's starting to.
Is there any black people in Mad Men?
A couple elevator operators and a few waiters here and there.
And Jason, they're available.
Yeah,
there you go.
I had a guy come into my acting studio, and he was an agent, and he was handing out material, and I just took it to help somebody, and he got on me was like this scene. It was a scene from Mad Men that he was fanatical about, and he starts directing me, and I'm like, okay, dude, okay. So I did it that way. Oh, you mean more than okay, dude? All right, here you go. And now I'm in it. Now I really got to do it because now I look stupid. And so I do it, and he's like, yeah, after class, he goes, I'm sorry I had to push you so much, but I could tell you were a good actor. I just wanted to see you really do this scene, And I said, Craig, that's okay, but I got to let you know as soon as they start putting black people on, I'll worry about it. And he just kind of looked at me I was like, yeah, dude.
Right.
I'm not worried about. I'm sorry, I'm not worried about a role on Mad Men.
Jason just said the word "dude" 3 times in not even 2 minutes.
That's a California boy for you. Dude.
Cool. Let's do a couple others. Favorite sports team, and then I also want to know favorite music artists and stuff like that.
Sports teams. Growing up in the Carolinas, the ACC teams are big, man. I was a big Carolina man, and because I was on that show, I was doing Local Celebrity. They tapped me to do a commercial with Michael Jordan. And I was like, it was a seatbelt safety commercial. And I was like, I'm 15, I can't drive, right? And they were like, doesn't matter. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. So, I spent the half a day with Mike, and the shoes were just getting ready to come out, and he'd just been in the league a year. And I'd already been a Carolina fan. So,
That's
from then,
cool.
Mike and the Bulls were, I was done. I was.
You were good at 15, yeah.
They
Exactly,
just released some Jordans today, actually.
I
People
heard
going
about
crazy
that.
about that.
It was like
Yeah.
$500 a pop online now.
Wow. So I doubt he'll remember that, man. But that was a great day for me, man. So I'd say a big Bulls fan. Since he's been gone, it's been kind of tough. But you got to support the LA, the Lakers and
still in your
Clippers.
heart.
Yeah.
Music? Do you got anyone? Who are you following?
Baby.
It's a big iPod world out there. So who are you? Who are you?
I'm a big man. My my selection is just so eclectic, man. I'll rock Bill Withers, and then I'll rock Jay-Z, or it just. Who am I really into now?
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. If he comes correct, I'll play it. Nobody. There you go. Yeah.
This is the moment you got to get up and start dancing and singing.
Spicy, that's my leg, Spicy.
Or in honor of our show, who is he and what is he to you?
Right.
Yeah, you go that Bill Withers route, who is he and what is he to you? You remember that, Jam?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah, so.
Lauren's boyfriend remembers it. He's in the next room.
Oh.
Jason, enough over there.
Jason. To the AfterBuzz.
I just want. Are you still single? It's been a week. I'm just saying.
She's not on the cast.
My
We're not
mind
asking her.
it wanders. You can't just play music and expect my mind not to wander.
That clearly means it's the end of the show.
We're gonna leave a cliffhanger like the show.
I actually
Can you
do
play
have
that? The comments that are made here are not representative of AfterBuzz.
I have a quick
Just a
question for Jason and Kent, just because it's the last episode of the pilot. Ultimately, where do you guys want, for better or worse, to take you as an actor?
Great question.
Wow.
Yeah.
Deep
I
question.
really want to know where. Good job.
I wanted to take me
know.
back to Atlanta to finish. No, really, I just feel like there's such a great experience, and you do these 10, and there is a bit of closure to the 10, but you just feel like there's so much uncovered,
You want more, yeah.
untouched material there that I just really want back at it and want back at this character.
Same here, man. I really feel like there's an opportunity to really just demonstrate some great work. I was watching tonight with Mike and Tasha, and having read the scripts and knowing the storyline, I'm still feeling like, man, it's tugging at my heart tonight, to have that opportunity to go back to find those moments and to be able to put in that kind of work and go. And even though we work so fast, I think we work, we try to work deep, and that we give it our all for that bit of time that we have, and that's what I look forward to.
Well, it's working. One of our friends who was watching with us in the other room when we were all watching together started getting emotional.
Oh, yeah.
She walked away. She was crying.
Yeah.
There was a number of
working.
tweets about people crying. I had an interesting conversation a couple days ago with Henry Chan. Henry, he's a director, been around a long time, did a lot of Moesha. I worked with him on Apartment 23. Dave Hemmingson's project that'll be out on
it's on ABC.
ABC,
what are you doing?
I played a guest star and have a really fun time with
it's a comedy?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is. It's
single camera or multiple?
Single camera. Yeah. Kind of Dave's style, the way he's knocked up and all that. So I was talking to him about the show. I was like, wow. He was like, I'd really like to see if I could get in on directing some of those. And it's just, I was saying, yeah, that'd be great. It really is your style. It's kind of what we're shooting for, this one camera comedy. He said, so how long does it take you to do an episode? I said, 1 day. He goes, 1 day. I said, yeah. And then he said, and then a rehearsal day? I said, no rehearsal day. and it was so funny because he just blew up. He's a Chinese guy.
Right.
He's like, oh, no, you can't do it. You can't do it. You owe the audience more. You owe the audience more. I'm like, well, I don't know. It's Tyler's business model. I don't think that's gonna change. Oh no, you can't do that. I'm like Henry. He's Forbes #1 entertainer.
Yeah.
Like it's working, and he's like, no. He says, and I said, well, Henry, we all get together as a cast on Saturday and re-rehearse. He goes, on your own?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, on our own. Really? Yeah, really. Well, could I come? I'm like, yeah, you could come. We're in Atlanta. We don't have anything else to do. But that was very interesting for him to hear that a cast actually got together outside of what work was, to work on material.
Man, we're feeling it and digging each other.
So we've heard everybody's story on how they got their role. You're the only person who hasn't fessed up. How did you land this? Multiple auditions?
Crazy.
Tyler was
epic.
like, you're the one.
Thursday before Memorial Day, I get a call like 11 in the morning out of the blue. I can't even remember what I was doing. Agent goes, are you available to fly tomorrow to Atlanta for a Tyler Perry show? He's seen he loves your work. We fly there, meet him, and you might read. Like, yeah, okay.
Sure, why not?
So half hour later, they call back and said, actually, he's flying to Paris tomorrow at noon. Can you be on a red eye tonight to meet him in the morning? I'm like, yeah, okay, we can do that, right? 2 hours go by, they call back and say, we can't find any flights from L.A. It was Memorial Day weekend.
Geez.
Nobody, everything was booked up.
So while everybody's partying Memorial Day weekend, this is your panic moment.
They want to send you some material. Can you mind putting it on tape and emailing it? I was like, okay,
You prefer in person.
I was like, all right. So I don't think anything about it. So later that night, I do it and I email it. And then I get a call the next morning, that Friday, they go, are you available to do a Skype call with Ozzy and Mark? Right?
Skype.
I'm like, wow. All right. So we do and I realized what it was is they had never seen Kent. They'd only seen me doing the role in terms of talk with so they're kind of like, oh, is he a maniac or whatever? So we do this talk. Nothing happens for 2 weeks. Talk goes great. Agent calls back later, says, oh, yeah, I think it's really good. We won't know anything until after the holiday, right? Nothing. I get a call 2 weeks later going, they want you to come and audition for this new Tyler Perry scene. I was like, wait a minute. What happened to flying to Atlanta? What happened to, the Skype calls and the emailing scenes and all this kind of stuff? And then they call and they find out, oh, no, he's actually here in town. He'll be here. And I mean, it was the day before my birthday. I went in at what's that hotel right beside the Comedy Store on Sunset? The big white one? I can't. No. It's right across the street from it. Anyway, they was in a conference room. Go in.
Mondrian?
Yeah, there it is.
Mondrian.
Yeah. Conference room. Go in. Do the audition.
Tyler doesn't stay at the Sheraton.
No, of course not.
I was going to say,
Right.
Can we say Holiday Inn?
Right.
We would have knew where that was.
Right.
Motor City Lodge.
Exactly.
I can't even say Mondrian.
Right. Do that thing. Met him. Read. Thought it went great. Whatever. Got a call later that day at 6:30. Says, you're a guy. We need you on the red eye tomorrow night. We'll work on the particulars tomorrow during the day. So I was running around. And so I had my little birthday meal with the fam, jumped on a plane, flew to Atlanta, did not go to the hotel. They brought me and Kiki. We were actually on the same flight. Straight to set.
So
drop your bags in the
Was that the first time you
room.
met her on the flight?
I didn't know this, but Kiki and I met on the red carpet of the premiere of my film.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Her publicist that got her on this red carpet, and we had pictures together, right? And she kept saying, "I know you," and she put it together, and I went back and found photos of us, and it was like 4 years ago, and I was like,
you working together. Look at you.
And now look.
There you is, grabbing my leg. Look at that. Watch out.
Fate.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, once again, technology, you're auditioning via Skype now.
Exactly, right?
You don't even have to be in person to have interviews and auditions anymore.
Isn't it crazy?
That is crazy.
And I didn't even know about you going down the back and forth and...
Jason, it seems like you had the hardest.
Exactly.
As he always says.
Jason promotes the show. He gets cast members. You work hard for the show.
Because I'm black.
Right, Todd.
I'm realizing. I mean, I've heard the story 4 or 5 times, but I'm just realizing Ozzy was showing me you, like, this is he was like showing me, he literally turned his computer around in his office, goes, here's our guy, which is actually before you were on the plane. That's like, they already knew you. We knew before you knew that you were.
You guys were in Atlanta going like, man, hurry up, get it, dude. We shoot tomorrow, right?
I was like, where is he?
That's hilarious.
But one thing I was thinking about this show that we haven't touched upon yet is this theme about the money. Right, and really, what we've seen through the episodes is how little money matters. I mean, there's problems that are specific to having money or not having money, which is usually where we see black people dealing with the problems of poverty. But here, we're not dealing with the poverty issue, and we have just as many problems. And these problems trump money. Really.
Funny thing is, this was the first episode that actually did talk about money a little bit, and my initial thoughts were, okay, she's kind of seeming a little buckled now because he took some of her money and it was making her frustrated, and that's kind of to what you're saying. What I thought, I was like, well, she's having issues regardless. So with the money that she did have and now the money she doesn't have, it's still, she's just kind of flying.
And Marcus has that one line though where he says, "I'm not talking about paying a bill." He's like, I'm not talking about paying a bill. Like, at the end of the day, what are we talking about? We're talking about paying a bill. Really? It's like, if I had the bill, if I didn't have the bill, if the bill was paid, if the bill wasn't paid, we still have this problem.
Right.
And I know some of my happiest times in life have been when I've had the least. For sure, without
for a lot of people too. I think maybe they don't even know it, but
people handle it different. It depends on, what does it mean to you? Sometimes some people may look at paying a bill as the greatest act of love ever. Like, oh my God, paid the bill, and they assign or associate something to that rather than the gesture of maybe what it's really coming from. It's like, hey, I love you. I want to take care of you.
Well, it depends on what your love language is.
Yeah, right.
It depends on what your love language is. If it's acts of service, if it's gifts.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation.
Gotta water the garden, baby.
Quality time. Everybody has different love languages, and some people do interpret the gifts as an act of love.
Right. All right, well that
wraps
it up, guys.
We're going to get into a deep conversation.
Thank you so much. Of course, yes, to our technical producer, which is Phil. He's always in the booth. I think Adam is joining him today. Our studio audience, so to speak, they were here helping us out as well. Maricela, Spicy Mari, for always doing a great job keeping it spicy.
Guys. Follow me, spicy_Mari.
Yes, our social media team who do an excellent job. Lauren Turner. She's at Lauren T Loves You.
Lauren T Loves You.
A lot of love to give from Lauren Turner.
Right.
She's single.
It's gonna be soaked up.
And myself, I'm Jesse F. Daniels, of course, at Jesse.
No
F.
love
Daniels.
to give.
No love.
And our amazing guest today. Thank you, Kent, for coming in. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. You wrapped up us having 5 out of the 6 people. My name is Ronnie, and hopefully we get another season, and we'll be back here doing the same.
Jason, you keep
Along with great tweets.
I will keep you posted.
Jason,
Everyone
keep
can
us
reach
posted.
me at Jason Olive.
Right. And shout at me at Kent Faulcon. There it is.
You did a great job just putting this together, Jason. So thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure hanging with you guys. Thank you, everybody, for making it possible.
Thanks
so
for
we're
the invite.
basically all down with AfterBuzz for better or worse.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.